Morning everybody. Today is the day that myself and Wilbur are going to try and ride from here in Vennesund to Jetvik, which is in the Arctic Circle. So join us and let's see if we can make that final leg and get over 66.35 degrees. It's about 7 a.m. so we're going to get ready. It's rained overnight. The rest, or the tail end of that storm that's been with us for the last 5 days, is just about gone. There might be a couple of showers this morning looking at the forecast, and then I think we've got 4 days of dry weather. So first job, of course, is to get some porridge. Here's my pot of porridge. I've got my cup of tea. I've already brewed the tea. We'll put that in. Tea and porridge, and we'll look at the view. And actually, if you look out here at Vennesund, one of the things is that if you look at the horizon across here, that's described as the sea serpent. There's something like 14,000 islands that run across west coast of Norway, and it forms all these strange shapes. Porridge and tea, get Wilbur loaded up, get on the road. 284 kilometres to Jetvik, and 4 ferry crossings I think today. 284 kilometres in nearly 7 hours? You must be joking. No, but that's correct. This is a slow route and there's 4 ferry crossings. We're going to try and get to Jetvik. But this route is the first section of the 433 kilometre Helgelandskysten you can see here. It's also known as the Kystriksveien. I never worked out which was which. Anyway, you can see where the polar circle is there with the brown line. And we're going to try and get to Jetvik this evening. It's going to be quite tight because of all the ferry crossings. It's raining again, just for a change. Yeah, they would hate to let off. So that's it, we're going to jump on and we're going to get going. Well, we've got Route 17 to ride, and that will, I'm sure, make it a lot better. So let's go. Turn right out of the campsite and we're straight onto Route 17. And on the ferries on this route you can pick up this little guidebook. And they're in different languages. I realised afterwards. I picked up a Norwegian one and an English one. It has all the ferries, the timetables, places of interest, campsites and all sorts of things. So pick that book up if you can. The iconic Route 17, looking forward to this. And here's the sign, 433 kilometres to Buda, and that's where it finishes. We're going to enjoy riding past all these islands and this scenery, I'm sure. It's already looking promising. So we're riding along minding our own business, and there's a moose on the side of the road, just quite happily munching that hedge. That was great to see. Nope, there he goes. We'll get going again. This was, I think, by far the wettest hour of riding that we'd ever had in our time in Norway. Anyway, here's the ferry port at Horn, which is our first stopping point, and thankfully that massive rainstorm has gone through. Route 17, that's a pretty good route. You know, it's open farmland. We dip into the coast every now and again, and we see that, and yeah, you know, really enjoying the roads. They're very quiet. Is it a moose or an elk here? Anyway, he was just stood there on the side of the road, and I thought, oh, he's a fiberglass model. And then he moved and started eating the hedge, so that was pretty cool. And if we look at the sat nav here, we are in Horn. We're at 65.35 degrees. Pretty much we are 1 degree from where we need to be. So we have a rest while we watch the ferry come in, and on we go. So this is ferry number 13 of our trip so far. They're building up, that's for sure. So back onto Route 17 again, and it's only a short hop to Fourvik, which is our next ferry, just 17 kilometres, but it was pretty good riding and pretty good scenery. Another one of my standard rules, never drive past a supermarket within an hour of lunchtime. And as we get towards Fourvik, the sky's lifting. Look at that sky, it's just amazing. And the weather's been kinder to us too. And here we are, arriving in Fourvik harbour. Spectacular. Well, we've made it to Fourvik and the sun's come out and there's no wind, and you can actually feel a bit of warm in the sun, so that's a very nice change. The only thing is the last boat went half an hour ago and the next one is at 5 to 12 and it's now 10:30. So I've got like an hour and 20 minutes to wait. The boat takes about 50 minutes. It's quite a long one, this crossing. But there is a cafe and Handelsstad or something like that over there, which is the other side of that building. So I think I'm going to wander in there and have a cup of coffee and sit and look out over the bay. So it turns out they import and roast all their own coffee here. It was a great place. I wish you could smell it. The smell was amazing. But they sell chocolate and cakes and coffee and all sorts of nice things. So we decided to get a coffee and head outside to the harbour. Well, what a treat it was finding that place. So I'm going to sit here, look at the bay, wait an hour and drink me coffee. Oh, I think I've just seen a jellyfish. Is that a jellyfish in the water? It's going bloop bloop like a jellyfish does. Oh, look at all the fish. Oh God, the water's so clear. That goes down a long way and I can see all the way to the bottom and it's full of fish. Well, there's worse places to sit and spend an hour than this. The Lonely Planet guide had said that this Route 17 slows you down, which is a good thing because you need to slow down. And it said the number of ferry crossings, I think there's 6 in total, so this is number 3, just mean that you've got to run to the ferry schedules and that's it. So we'll see, but it gives you a chance to wonder why you do trips like this. Now, I don't know, why do you do trips like this? I just, I wanted to get away from work, have a holiday, do something different. I've always wanted to come up to the Arctic Circle. And doing it on Wilbur, yes, it would be a challenge, but also, again, I could buy a modern bike. Well, anybody can do that. Where's the challenge in that, really? So I thought Wilbur would be the right bike, actually. So while I was sat there pondering and watching the boat come in, here it is. A German couple turned up. So they've got matching his and hers Africa twins. Going back to the subject of modern bikes and touring. So I'm on the Fourvik to Chiota ferry, which is 50 minutes. And it's lunchtime. And I picked up this book yesterday, I think it was. And it's pretty useful. I actually didn't have a look at it until now. And in the front of it, it's got the route. The Kystriksveien, I'll never get that right, the FV17 route, and here it's got all the ferries, the distances, the times for the ferries, and in the back of it has all the timetables for the ferries too, so that's pretty useful. So ferry journey number 14 went pretty quickly, but it was some nice scenery on the boat. It's a cruise in itself, really. But anyway, it's time to get off the ferry. And the German couple were going the same way as me for a while, but then they were turning off inland to go to Mo i Rana. So we rode together for a while. Why not? So this 71-kilometre run from Chiota to Levang includes the Helgeland bridge that you see here. And it's just over a kilometre long, 1,065 metres actually. The centre span is 425 metres by itself, and it goes to 45 metres above sea level. It's a pretty impressive sight, you've got to say. We made it to Levang in about an hour on some of the best roads we'd ever ridden, and here we are
getting onto the ferry. This is ferry number 15 of the whole journey, and our third one today, of course, and it's only early afternoon.
So this is the ferry to Nesna, and it appears the door at the other end of the ferry's broken, so everybody's got to go on backwards, which is no problem if you're on a motorbike. I just did the U-turn.
Well, that 25-minute ferry journey went soon enough, so we're onto the leg now that runs from Nesna to Kilboam. This is about 99 kilometres, and this takes us to the point of our fourth ferry of the day, but more importantly, it's the one that takes us over the Arctic Circle that we set off from home 2 weeks ago trying to reach.
So this is where we are. We're at this lookout here, Kystriksveien, and we're heading up to Kilboam, and that takes us up to Jetvik on the boat, and it just so happens that that is the Arctic Circle. And look at that for a view, just amazing. So many islands, and you can see one of the ferries across there, but we're heading round this corner and up this inlet here, and that's the ferry that we'll be taking right over there somewhere in that direction. This is Kilboam. On the other side of that ferry, whenever it comes in, is Jetvik, and Jetvik is north of the Arctic Circle. I can now push Wilbur onto that boat if I need to, but he'll be right. Our route goes out over there, and it's about a 60-minute journey, so it's quite a long ferry trip. And as I say, about halfway along that, we cross the Arctic Circle. I'm excited. 3,560 kilometres. And the next 10k on a boat takes us for our aiming spot. Bye bye Wilbur, I will see you in the Arctic Circle.
So not only is the scenery on this fourth crossing of the day spectacular, if you look at that marker post on the land there, that is the Arctic Circle marker post, 66.35 degrees. We've done it!
I've gone crazy. Coffee and a chocolate muffin, and it's 5 p.m. I've pushed the boat out. Wilbur's going to get his treat later on, he'll have to wait and see what that is. Cool, can't wait to get to camping tonight.
Well, this is the approach into Jetvik harbour. It was a bit cloudy here, but if it stays dry we're okay with that. So we'll get ourselves off the boat. We've still got a bit of riding to do for the camping. A run about 28 kilometres up to Agskadet, and that gets the ferry over to Furoy. That would be our fifth of the day.
This is it, me and Wilbur. That's Jetvik harbour. We're just on the way out of that. Good old Wilbur. Let's get him to the camping and get him some refreshment. And me too, why not? We are stood in the Arctic Circle. He's got his tyres on the ground there. I've got my boots on the ground. To the camping.
So it was a very pleasant journey, that 28 kilometres from Jetvik up to Agskadet. Didn't take us too long, great scenery, the roads were pretty quiet, and it's amazing how fast it goes when you know you're near where you're going. So this is ferry 17 of our trip.
This is it, the last ferry journey of the day. We've got Wilbur here. It's only a 10-minute ferry journey across here, but we found another biker friend, and he'll tell you all about himself.
Yeah, hello, my name is Alexander. I'm currently driving up to Nordkapp, the northern point in Norway. I went in this morning from a place called Sandnessjø and started my trip in a little south of Oslo.
So he was off wild camping for the evening somewhere, but none of that for me. I'd already identified Furoy camping as my aiming spot. Pretty easy to get to. You roll off the ferry here, turn left, and it's only a kilometre to the campsite. And everything I'd heard about it said that it was a pretty good spot to spend the night.
Well, Wilbur, cheers mate. This is a pretty good spot you found, I think. And I reckon it's beer o'clock.
Well, 5 ferry crossings and over 10 hours riding later, it was good to get the tent up, have that beer, and then sit and have some potato chips and just look over the lake. Fantastic view.
What a great little camping spot. We're done, we're sorted. The sun's going to set over there. We have a special treat. And I did this just for my sister, all the way from Germany. Well, not Germany actually, from Holland, on the ferry. I have been carrying a little present to myself and Wilbur when we got across the Arctic Circle, and that would be now. And what would that present be? Jaeger. That's a long story. There's a story behind that. So, I know what I'm having for tea. I'll put that on Wilbur so it doesn't fall over. But there's more. There's more. I can't be drinking that and leaving poor Wilbur out of it after all his work. So I got a Wilbur size one too, especially for him. Well, bottoms up. It's the Arctic. And we're here. And we've only broken down, I think, 4 times. Cheers. Cheers, Wilbur. You're the best. Wouldn't have done it on any other bike. You can keep all your modern stuff. Wilbur all the way. God, how do people drink that stuff? Cheers, Sarah. It's like toothpaste. Whoa. What's that, Wilbur? You want yours too? Well, okay. I hope you know what you're letting yourself in for. Open wide. Go, have some of that. That's going to put lead in your pencil, old chap. Arctic beer. We're in the Arctic. So, there's yours, mate. Here's mine. Oh, what's that? You got trouble opening it with your forks? Oh, here, let me help. Cheers, Wilbur.
So with all that done, there was nothing left to do except watch the clouds roll in, watch the ships go backwards and forwards, and watch the sunset. What a great day and a great way to round it off. So join us next time when we complete the last 200 kilometres of the Helgelandskysten. But we take a slight detour on the way, and we take a small boat across to the Svartisund Glacier. It turns out to be quite an off-road adventure getting there. But once there, the views are amazing. And a great spot to have a picnic as well. So after enjoying the views and all that nonsense, we're back on the road. We complete the rest of the Route 17, and that gets us up to Saltstraumen. All that and more next time on Wilbur's Arctic Adventure.